In this video, I'm going to show you how to make non-destructive ArtStation thumbnails that you can swap in at any time, put filters on that won't destroy your image, and just have a nice clean approach. For this, I'm using photopea.com, a free version of a Photoshop clone, but if you have Photoshop, you'll also be able to do this as well. So starting off, I'm going to do a 400 by 400 document, which is the ArtStation size. I'm going to paste in an image just of one of my renders. And before you do anything, don't rescale and scale up and scale down. You're going to slowly kill the image and the pixels are going to get blurry and blurry. What you want to do is, before you do anything to the image, right click, convert to smart object. What that does is it saves a PSD within your PSD. You can double click the layer, you get the original image at its full scale, and now you can go in and scale up and down and your pixels will not resample. So I can scale down like this, frame it, hit enter, double click, there's my full resolution image. That's number one. Number two, now you've converted it to a smart object, any sort of filters you put on it will be saved in a stack. So if I put a sharpen on it, which this is overkill, but yeah. And then if I do an image adjustment, and let's say I do, any of these will work. If I do this, pump it up and even change the color, these become non-destructive in the layer stack. So I always can, one, get back to my original image, two, change, delete, and double click to modify the actual layer itself if I think something is too sharp or not sharp enough. I can do that on every single image. You can do this with your vignette, your border. And the only thing I recommend you do at the end is make a new layer, put a border on it. It could be white, black, whatever color border you want to put on it, you'll be good to go. So let's see, I'll put a white border on it for inside. Obviously a bit overkill, but there you have it. Non-destructive. You can have this with multiple layers and you will be able to change the image at any time by double clicking on it and changing this, and you'll be good. Hope this helps. See you in a bit.